So moving on, we actually had a big fight announced this past week. Everyone's so excited for it. Everyone's excited.
Out of the year.
Dude, this might sell the most besides Stipe and John Jones out of the whole year. I mean, it has a chance. It's in Abu Dhabi. You're going to get all the Russians by it. Dude, I'm telling you. This is a sleeper high pay-per-view number. Oliveira versus Islam, especially if they throw Hazmat in the co-main. Dude, that's going to be a crazy card. But Oliveira versus Islam, we're going to do our early predictions. Jake, I'm going to let you start it off. Go ahead.
Well, you know how I feel about Islam and all them. No, I'm not a big fan. Heck, his crew. All those people, his manager. No, not like that.
Just playing.
Yeah, I told you, I don't mind the Russians, just those Russians. They annoy me because they're all the same, copy and paste, same beard. They're just, they're just the same person.
Yeah, it's true.
Same fighting style, and I got Oliveira winning. Unbiased. I would still take Oliveira, but my bias is thinking that Oliveira might make it look easier than we think, which I don't see that necessarily, but that's how I feel, kind of bias-wise. But I have Oliveira. I think it'll be by submission. I think his stand-up game and the clinch work, like what he showed against Poirier with the knees. I'm trying to understand Islam's better in the clinch than Poirier, But I could see that making Islam panic shoot because he's not fought anybody high level. Just to say it bluntly, he's not.
He's not.
And that's my main issue.
How good that man is, besides what Khabib has said about him. That is it. That is literally it. You cannot go off Dan Hooker. You can't go off Dan Hooker. He's awful. Dan Hooker's awful. You can't go off. You can't go off.
Bobby Green.
You can't go off Bobby Green. It was late notice. And speaking of Dan Hooker, it was late notice. It was a week notice too.
Yeah, that's kind of shameless.
Yeah, so like
then he wouldn't fight RDA, man.
So the only fight, and then he went off Moises, which he struggled in. That's a bad matchup for Islam. I'm not trying to give him credit or anything, but that's an awful matchup. Which you could argue Oliveira is literally just an upgraded version of Moises. So I think that's what makes this fight just crazy interesting, in my opinion. Is I have no idea. It's kind of like the Alex Pierre and Sean Strickland fight a little bit. You have no idea how good Alex Pierre is. He's fought no one near the level of Sean Strickland. And of course, we all know how that fight went. I'm not saying that's how this one's going to go, but I'm just saying it's a similar fight in like the way we have to think about it, kind of. So that leads me to my early prediction, though. You went Oliveira. I think this fight's going to be, again, 50-50. You can't name one Oliveira fight that's not 50-50. I'm going to go Islam right now by decision early on. Way early on, I'm going to go by decision. But I think this fight is very, very... Winner is going to make it look easy. That's what I'm going to say. I think there's two paths to this. I think either Islam mauls him, and it's because Islam is as good as everyone says he is, and he is this like ultimate guy and all this other crap, and he just takes him down. And I don't think Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is going to play as big as a deal as people think it is. I think once you're at a certain level in jiu-jitsu, it kind of cancels out all other jiu-jitsus. We've seen this happen in the past with like Damian Maia and people like that who are specialists in it. Once someone's good enough in it, they can't submit them. Like, look at Michael Chandler. He was good enough in it, he couldn't submit him. And then it is what it is, And I don't think he'll play that big of a role. I think Oliveira's path to victory is keeping this fight standing up, and I think he could definitely do that. And here's that leads me to the way I think Oliveira could win is Islam tries to be in a bloody mess. So I think whoever wins this fight, I think it's going to be Oliveira throwing a masterclass performance on the feet. Maybe, like you said, maybe a submission. And I think the way I could see a submission happen is him piecing him up and control time. And I could see, I can honestly see Islam getting a submission. I think there's a higher chance of Islam getting a submission than Oliveira getting a submission. That's my hot take for this fight. And the reason why I say that is because I think if anyone's going to be on top of anyone throughout this whole fight, it's going to be Islam. If someone's going to be on top of somebody on the ground, it's going to be Islam. And I'm not going to bank on Oliveira getting a submission off the back against someone as talented as Islam. So I'm not going to bank on that. But I'm going to go Islam early. By the time I promise you I'll switch my pick 100 times before we get there. So I don't know. But early on, I'll just say Islam since you went Oliveira.
Yeah, and another point is, like, you remember the Khabib-Poirier fight. Khabib shoots heavyweight, gets kind of half taken down and throws a guillotine and almost gets Khabib. Yep. Like, it's that close.
Yeah, if Oliveira gets a guillotine, it's in. 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep, I agree.
If Islam makes a kind of two-head first of a shot and Oliveira expects it, I think the fight's over.
Yeah, I could.
So I'd be worried if I was Islam. I wouldn't be shooting as much as people think he would, unless he's that good, where to the point where he cannot be submitted.
Yeah,
which I doubt. I have my doubt.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about the guillotine is it's kind of like, it's kind of like not a Hail Mary type deal, but it's almost like, hey, you get it in, you win. You don't get it in, you lose that round 100% because you're stuck down there. You know what I'm saying?
Most likely.
Yeah. Because what you do when you go for a guillotine, you give them complete guard if you don't get that in, if they pop their head up. So, it's risky. It's risky if Oliveira goes that route. I think Oliveira should. He won't. No, I think Oliveira should try to keep it standing. But I think like a way he can get up is throw up submissions, like throw up a trunk he did Poirier. I could see that. That might be an option for him. But let's move on here.